I am irritated with my husband for going to a club during his college reunion. What's a reasonable way to address? My husband went to a college reunion this weekend while I stayed home with our kids. We are 39 and 40, have been married 9 years, and are in savings mode to pay down a few outstanding debts and try to ramp up our investments. The debts are primarily because he overspent last year. I'm a saver, but I never make him feel bad about that, and he knows he needs to be smarter with money. I asked him before he went to please be conscious of how much money he spends because I don't want to derail us and we are in a critical period. He covered the airfare with miles. He was going to be meeting up with a few guys from college who, despite being married with kids, can still get pretty wild, so I was especially concerned about things getting out of hand. Like they can never just have a couple drinks, catch up, and call it a night. It's always over the top. Well, fast forward to last night. As I'm getting into bed, I look at his location. We share locations due to something that happened to a family member a while back, and it says he is at a club. I immediately text him that I think that's gross, and he 100% agrees and says they are leaving soon. He is not a fan of clubs and never goes. Then I realize he has withdrawn $100 from our shared checking account to go to said club. I immediately text him and tell him I don't appreciate him spending our money to go look at naked girls when we had a specific conversation about this. He immediately apologized and agreed it was stupid and hurtful. When specifically asked, he clarified he hadn't paid for a dancer or anything, that he had just spent $10 mostly on beer. He then stood outside for 20 minutes until his friends were ready to go. I think he did all the right things, but this morning I woke up still feeling kind of angry that he went to a club in the first place. I know it wasn't his idea and he was going along with what someone in the group wanted to do, but I just feel like it's juvenile. There is also something so gross to me about a 40-year-old man going back to his college town and going to a club. Seems like the adult thing to do would have been to say, hey, I'm good. I don't like clubs and don't want to spend my money going to one. Text when you're done. Anyway, he is coming home today and I'm sure we'll discuss it, and I'm not sure how much to further address it with him. I feel I have to because I'm still so irritated, but I don't want to be unreasonable. Looking for advice on how to raise it without being over the top. Again, his reaction was right when I expressed concern, and I'm glad he didn't spend our money on a lap dance. That would be a whole other level of angry for me, but I'm still annoyed that he went at all. Admittedly, it's both that he spent money on it and that he didn't have the class to say I find these seedy and don't want to go, so it's not just the money. I generally don't want to control what he spends money on as long as we stay on budget, but this felt different somehow to me. Welcome thoughts? Comment. He took out $100 to only spend $10 on a drink. Not a cover charge. Not to toss it at dancers. He waited 20 minutes outside. None of this is believable. The vast majority of them, yes, but you will find a few people pleasers and / or socially awkward folks who go because the group they're hanging out with all decided to go, and they don't want to be left alone. That was me once. Folks like me going once, ever, in nearly 40 years of life, and not participating a whole lot, sure aren't what sustain these places, though. And if you don't like clubs, but went for this sort of reason, you're not pulling out $100 to do it. The cover charge and a couple beers doesn't cost anything approaching that. $100 means you want to pay for extras. Can't speak for this guy, but if I use an ATM I'm always withdrawing $100 plus. Paying the $4 fee to withdraw $20 feels pretty stupid. Look in his wallet for the other $90. That's my usual habit as well, though I'm kinda wondering why he needed to withdraw money at all for what he claimed to do. Clubs take credit/debit cards, don't they? Wow, I've never been to a strip club before, but that's way more expensive than I would have guessed. $100 for one person, really, without any extras or slipping tips in some strippers' undies or anything. Depends on city/club. The ones I've hit, none lately, but inflation can't be that bad, had $15 to $20 cover. Food is a pass, grab before or after. Drinks can be higher than a bar but depends on how many drinks were bought. Many clubs have a 2-drink minimum. I could easily go to a club for under $50 if not tipping or buying dances and only grabbing a few drinks. Not that I enjoy such clubs, but life is sometimes life. When I was young the best place for drinks and food was the strip joint cause it was a high-end one, but that means you're paying for what you get, so I easily blew $100 before I entered the parking lot. Oh, and I'm a woman so you'd think they'd cut me some slack, but nope. Then throw in the ATM wouldn't let you take less than $80 out to use it. Guess if I was married at the time my significant other must have known I was cheating by being there. Darn, I've been caught. I can also attest to this. I worked in that industry for 2 years just to pay for school so I didn't have debt. I'm glad I was smart enough to just do it for money and get TF out. It hurt my soul, it took time for me to come to terms and I changed a lot of things in my life, but I'm grateful for the experience because I learned to read people so well and I know exactly what goes down in those places. The amount of married men was sickening. I didn't trust men for a long time. It's such a sad industry, seeing girls there for years was disheartening. Like, don't you want to learn a skill that can take you far? I just don't get it. The money is good, but you could literally create something so much more lucrative and stable for yourself. And the drugs and toxic going on there is actually scary. What a sad life. He went because he wanted to go. Full stop. Was he aware of your stance on clubs? 9 years, there's no way he didn't know. He just didn't care and knew he could make up some lies and you'd eat them up. He willingly went and enjoyed it? I doubt it was his first time, just first time being found out. So now what? Be mad a while and then move on. Or be mad and end the relationship. What's the other options? Next story 2. My partner of 7 years dumped me just yesterday and right now he's on a date. Please, can anyone help me? I'm spiraling and don't know how to proceed. You'd think someone of my age would have a good support network, but my best friend is about to leave the country next week and I can't dump this on them, and I can't confide to my mom about this because she will go ballistic. So here I am. I was with my partner, still in shock and find it bizarre to call him my ex, for 7 years. We bought a house together and were very happy the first few years. Things got worse in the last 2 years. He became very distant, grumpy, not his usual self at all. I gave him the benefit of the doubt because he had started a new, high-stress job. I did my research and knew that the first few years are quite stressful for most people in that career, so I wanted to give him a chance to settle in. 2023 has been horrific for us as a couple. I started noticing little signs of contempt, him rolling his eyes at me, being mad at me for doing innocent things, like being overexcited at a gig we went to, not wanting to be around me much. We argued a lot, and we've argued before but always made up. Now arguments are much worse, both of us to blame for that. I've been miserable, but I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt so badly because there were still signs of hope, little things like we adopted a cat together in the summer. Anyway, things ended yesterday, Saturday. It felt out of the blue because I was literally just drawing him a birthday gift in the morning for his birthday next week. In reality, no, it wasn't out of the blue because we were having a really bad year, I get that, but it still came as a shock regardless because we hadn't argued for a long time. This afternoon, Sunday, I asked him if we could talk soon about logistics about the breakup because I was feeling very heartbroken and anxious about the whole thing. He said okay. I was hoping to talk to him tonight so I could start making plans for moving out. I went for a walk with my mom and dad to try and take my mind off things, but when I came back to my house at 5 p.m. I could smell very strong perfume / aftershave as I walked through the front door. I assumed he had just gone to get food. I texted him asking if he was getting food, because I wanted him to get me something. He said no. At that point my gut was screaming at me. So I called him, and called, no answer. Completely out of character for him. Okay, he might be driving, so I waited and texted again asking where he was, and that if you are doing what I think you're doing, please don't. I can be out of the house tomorrow, just please don't do it whilst I'm still living here. His response was none of your business and leave me alone. Bear in mind again, this is the middle of nowhere. We live in a very rural area with nothing around, neither of us have any friends locally, and he never goes out this late at night unless it's to get food, and never with perfume that strong. Not even 2 days and already moved on. I feel sick. I don't know if he was cheating on me the entire time because he does not seem like the type, or if he just grabbed some random woman off Tinder or whatever. He is in great shape for his age from weightlifting and have no doubt he could easily find a woman for casual intimate quickly, but still, so soon. It's 9 p.m. here now and still he hasn't come home. I have almost zero doubt now what he is doing. This is coming from a man who has been my friend for the last 7 years, and has never shown this level of unfairness or cruelty. He didn't even give me a fighting chance. He only just broke up with me yesterday afternoon and I'm still in shock from it all, still haven't told anybody because I'm still trying to believe it is real. Completely out of character for him. I literally went from loving him yesterday to feeling the most intense anger I have ever felt in my life. He completely shot himself in the foot too, because we were all set to have an amicable breakup. Now he has made things 100x times worse. He couldn't wait. And what should I do about telling my family? My elderly parents live in the same village as us, we're neighbors. My mum is unwell at moment, recovering from her cancer treatment and has something else going on and is in constant pain. She is fiercely overprotective of me and wouldn't hesitate to do some serious criminal damage to his belongings. I'm angry too, but I don't want her to do that. But I can't not tell her because her spare room is my only hope right now for a quick departure. If I go and stay with someone else, a sister for example, my parents are going to wonder why the hell I'm not coming home. Can anyone just give me an outsider's opinion on this situation, how to proceed, and if I'm right in thinking this is incredibly unfair behavior? Comment. Breakups are never fun. Especially when you don't have the self-awareness to see what caused it or to see it coming. You don't have to explain to anyone why you've split up. You just have, and no one should really care why. They should only want to support you. If your family hurt him or destroy his possessions, you will probably be arrested, so you should probably avoid that. It's okay to be angry. It won't last. It wasn't sudden, he has probably been cheating on you for some time. This is not a new girl, at a minimum he's been talking to her, and if he wasn't already cheating he had her lined up to cheat on you. Turn loose the family, just ask them to not do anything criminal. He deserves to have everyone in the area know what a lowlife he is. He became distant because he was already cheating. Please understand that. You didn't get a chance because he's been long gone. Drag him through the mud, get everything you can out of him, good luck with the house. Don't know what country you're in, but in the US you'd have no rights at all, the courts don't recognize non-marital assets. Edit saw another comment that you've got a legal contract with him on the house. Good news, that, hope it holds up. He made his decision some time ago. To you it was sudden as bad, he's moving on quickly, for him there was plenty of time. He made you a gift. 2. Really? 1. He split up with you before wooing someone else, there's no way he only just met her, and 2, he's showing you that it's definitely absolutely over, he doesn't want to be with you, he has no regrets, there's no ambiguity. You tell your friends and family that he broke up with you and seems to be dating. And then you see a divorce attorney and figure out where you go from here. Just want to say that's human trying to figure out the why. My therapist gave me some great advice that has really helped me with situations similar to yours, where I just struggle to understand the why. She said it is natural, but some things you just won't be able to make sense of. You need to take them out and think about them sometimes, but most of the time you can say to yourself, now is not a good time to think about it. That helped me a lot because I feel like people generally say, oh, don't think about it, but of course you will. He didn't move on in 2 days. He moved on over 2 years, was likely cheating on you, and finally decided he was ready to move on without you as the fallback plan. It sucks, but you need to completely scrub this person from your life. It will hurt for a while. Do not do anything criminal, hold your head up high and walk away.